Sarada and Mitsuki are two characters that have taken a backseat in the Boruto story for a while now. Before Kawaki was introduced, the Boruto manga and primarily the anime made Team 7 the primary focus of the plotline. Once Kawaki became established into the series, the two other main characters besides Boruto, Sarada and Mitsuki, have become sidelined to make room for Kawaki and his development for the story. And while Mitsuki and Sarada have had great moments even after Kawaki was established into the series, Boruto and Kawaki have jumped at leaps and bounds in terms of power in the storyline. Because of this, only these two characters in the new gen can fight upcoming powerful threats so far in the series due to how strong they have become. This creates a divide between main characters in Boruto. Boruto and Kawaki are so powerful to the point that almost the entire current arc has been focused on them. Sarada and Mitsuki haven't really done anything in the Code arc due to the humongous power difference between these two and Boruto and Kawaki. If you were to have both Sarada and Mitsuki fight Code instead of Boruto and Kawaki, they would die pretty quickly in battle. With Boruto and Kawaki being Otsutsuki, it kind of begs the question, how will Sarada and Mitsuki be able to keep up with Boruto and Kawaki for the rest of this series? I want to talk about it in today's video, especially with the fact of the scale of power rising ever so dramatically since the start of the Code arc. Boruto and Kawaki have received humongous power-ups, Code just got his limbers removed, and Ada and Damon have some of the most broken abilities in the entire Naruto universe. Sarada and Mitsuki are main characters of the Boruto series and cannot just be forgotten about for the rest of the storyline. It wouldn't make sense at all for Kishimoto to do that, considering just how much impact they had earlier in the plot and the potential that they have. In chapter 69, the two of them understood that they will need the power and resolve in order to fight alongside Boruto and against Otsutsuki threats for the future. Now that Naruto and Sasuke have been nerfed, Konoha is going to have to train up the young guns and make them as strong as possible. And while the kids in Boruto's generation are very strong for their age, it is pretty obvious that there is a giant gap between them and Boruto. Now of course I don't expect someone like Denki to be on the level of Boruto by the time we get to the time skip, but I do hope that Sarada and Mitsuki are at least able to fight alongside Boruto in the future. Mitsuki wants to be able to protect Boruto since he portrays guilt that he wasn't there to protect him when Boruto initially died by Kawaki's hands. Sarada wants to become Hokage, and unless she's strong enough to fight an Otsutsuki, she won't be fit to become one. The Boruto story has established that enemies will be at the power level of the Otsutsuki, starting from Momoshiki and Kinshiki and to the Kara organization. Sasuke even establishes that Kara has Otsutsuki level powers, which is shown with the likes of Ishiki, Code, and the cyborgs. Now that the levels of power are getting higher, Sarada and Mitsuki will have to become stronger in order to not only fight the Otsutsuki, but to have any relevance in the main storyline. The obvious way for the two of them to become more powerful is to train, but the problem here is that Boruto and Kawaki have reached levels of power that cannot be obtained via regular training. With the two of them having the Karma Seal, they are able to tap into the true essence of karma, gaining 1,000 years worth of combat experience. Training to that level is literally impossible since it would take 1,000 years to get to that power. Not only that, in chapter 58, Kawaki states that it would be impossible to train in order to fight someone like Code. Even with training, Code is out of Team 7's league in terms of power, where we saw Code kick around Boruto pretty easily until he tapped into that 1,000 years worth of combat experience. From there, Boruto was on par with Code, and at one point he was taking the lead in the fight, but that was because of the millennia worth of battle power. Training won't suffice to anything and is an inefficient way to get to Otsutsuki level. Natural power progression is literally impossible for these characters if they want to be at this level. So the way I think they're going to be brought up in terms of power would be through plot. Sakura is a perfect example of this. She was one of the main characters in Naruto, and throughout the series she was always behind in power behind Naruto and Sasuke. Once we got into the war arc, Sakura was finally able to obtain the Seal of 100 Healings, where her power rose dramatically from Jonin level to high Kage level, with her being able to fight alongside KCM2 Naruto and EMS Sasuke. This is confirmed in Naruto Databook 4, where it states that she's at the level of Naruto and Sasuke at the time. Not only that, she basically had to restrict herself in power throughout Shippuden until she unlocked the seal, since she was storing up chakra for the 100 healings mark. Since Kishimoto is also running Boruto as well, I think it would be pretty simple for Sarada and Mitsuki to reach Otsutsuki level whenever the two of them get their next big power up or transformation. This would most likely be the Mangekyo Sharingan for Sarada and a perfected version of Sage Mode for Mitsuki. Now it seems kinda crazy, but power creep is something that happens a lot in the Naruto verse, i.e. Team 7, and then it happened again with Naruto and Sasuke when they got their 6 pass power up. I definitely do think this would be the most easiest way for them to get to Otsutsuki level, but it would also be the most contrived. Bringing someone up in power like Sakura to Naruto and Sasuke level is already kind of insane, but bringing someone to Otsutsuki level when they are only 13 years old is definitely the most contriving shit I've seen in Boruto. Most likely, I do think Sarada and Mitsuki will reach this level in the time skip, not in part 1, as it does seem that Sarada and Mitsuki won't have much focus at all for the rest of this arc. For them to gain power-ups this big, they'll definitely have to have have more relevance in the plot, especially against powerful opponents, such as Code and Ada for example. Kishimoto could give Sarada a very broken ability when she does unlock her Mangekyo Sharingan that pushes her to that level. Meanwhile, Mitsuki could draw out more power from his Sage Mode if he ever goes into a rage, or if Orochimaru can modify Mitsuki's Sage Mode more to help him master this power, since Mitsuki's Sage Mode is incomplete. In chapter 69, Mitsuki stated that if someone was really trying to kill Boruto, he doesn't know what he would do to that person, implying that he might kill them. For example, if Kawaki tries to kill Boruto again, Mitsuki would fight Kawaki while tapping into a Sage Mode for more power in a rage. But I also do find it hilarious when people say that Sarada, when she has her Mangekyo Sharingan unlocked, will be at most Itachi level or 5 Kage Summit Sasuke level. Character power progression is completely different for each character, so characters like Itachi and Sarada will grow in power at completely different rates. For example, when Sarada used Chidori for the first time, she was able to blitz Boro, who is an inner member of Kara, and when Boruto and Kawaki witnessed this, they were in complete disbelief in how powerful she was at that moment. And this includes Karma Boruto and Karma Kawaki, so if you want, you can make the argument that Chidori Sarada is above Karma Boruto and Kawaki since she didn't want to fall behind in power during the Kawaki arc, but that's besides the point. Another way Sarada and Mitsuki can reach Otsutsuki level is by having their bodies modified. Amato and Orochimaru are people who can create beings through modification, such as the Kara Inners and Mitsuki for example. I think this will apply the best for Mitsuki since Orochimaru is his creator, and since he was the one who gave Mitsuki the Sage Mode transformation, he could theoretically improve the power up for him over time, especially if Orochimaru meets Amato and joins forces with him to modify Mitsuki's body even more. We know when Mitsuki uses his Sage Mode, his body breaks down to the point where he could die. In the Boruto anime, when he used his Sage Mode against Deepa, after using his strongest jutsu and running away, his body was destroyed, leaving him bedridden for a month. Since Amato can create literal beings that control the Naruto universe and is now part of the Leaf Village's R&D, he can definitely give assistance to Orochimaru on how to perfect the Sage Mode in Mitsuki's body. Amato genetically engineered Kawaki the Karma Seal back after all, so theoretically with his intelligence combined with Orochimaru's knowledge on Mitsuki, it should be possible to modify Mitsuki's body to help him use the Sage Mode transformation better and add a stronger power such as the Otsutsuki. I don't think this would apply to Sarada since someone like Sasuke would never allow his daughter to be modified by Orochimaru and Amato. Knowing how corrupt and evil these people are, they have killed a lot of kids before in the past, so I don't think Sasuke and Sakura will allow Orochimaru and Amato to even get near Sarada to begin with. But since Boruto is somewhat following the narrative as Naruto, where the two main characters will be the strongest in the series, Kishimoto may not have Sarada and Mitsuki as strong as Boruto and Kawaki, but be near the power level as them to be able to fight the Otsutsuki and threats of that nature. I do think at maximum power, where in the time skip we will see a teen version of Sarada and Mitsuki, they should be able to be at Otsutsuki level in terms of power, since it is established in both of their resolutions to become more powerful. They are main characters after all, and I do expect for the two of them to make a ginormous jump in power in the future, just like how Boruto and Kawaki did in the Code arc. So let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. How strong do you think Sarada and Mitsuki can become? I really didn't want to talk about what potential abilities they can get because I think that's really ambiguous. I've already talked about it before in the past, so I just wanted to talk about how strong they can become from a narrative perspective, since the main threats have been established as Otsutsuki levels, and with the main villains being beyond Jigen's power level, which prior to this current arc in the Kawaki arc, the main villain was Jigen. The overall scale of power is rising overall, and I'm kind of nervous that Sarada and Mitsuki are going to be left in the dust, but since they are main characters, I definitely do think they will make a humongous jump in power, just like how Boruto and Kawaki did, simply because they are also very important characters. They haven't really gotten much screen time in the manga. I definitely do think that the anime may pick up on that once they get around to adapting the Code arc, but with that being said, I'm really praying that Sarada and Mitsuki get to this level. It needs to happen because if they don't, unfortunately, they won't have any relevance. Now, I don't expect Sarada and Mitsuki to be beyond Boruto and Kawaki. I think that's kind of ridiculous, but I definitely do think Kishimoto will be able to bring them up in terms of power. But overall, let me know what you think about what I said in this video in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.